a shout out to ASMR Beats, and I want to thank you for helping me with the intro of this series on the audio side. So thank you for helping me enhance the experience for these viewers. If you want more information, you can check out details on ASMR Beats and the other amazing beats he makes in the description box below. Hello. Welcome to ASMRtists Around the World, a series where we learn about other cultures in a relaxing way. I'm your host, Sharon, and today we'll be traveling to Mexico, aka Mexico, with ASMR Jonie. And by the way, she also happens to have two channels. One is an English speaking channel, and her second channel is a Spanish only speaking channel. Welcome, ASMR Jonie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharon. Hello.
Now, go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are and what it means to be from Mexico.
Well, I'm Jonie. I live in Mexico in the border with the US, right in California. So I'm kind of a bicultural thing here, where we have some aspect from the US and a lot from Mexico. So I try to integrate that in my channel to bring what's the culture of Mexico and the things that I have learned from the US. And well, as you were saying, I have two ASMR channels. ASMR Jonie in English and Murmullo Latino in Spanish, where I create role plays of different kinds for my viewers.
How cool. Now, what would you say are some relaxing things to do in Mexico?
Well, that is quite a lot. It's different in all parts of Mexico. I live in the border with the US, and the place where I live is kind of boring, not much to do because it's a desert. But we do eat a lot here. We enjoy going out for food and drinks. I don't drink alcohol, but we have typical drinks from Mexico that are delicious, and well, that relaxes me. And also, in other parts of Mexico, we have beautiful beaches and places to visit. We have a lot of culture from centuries, so there's a lot of places to visit and have fun, but that is mostly on the south. Right here where I live is kind of new, so there's not much to see here.
Interesting. Okay. So, Mexico also has the world's largest Spanish-speaking population. What is your favorite expression in Spanish?
Well, we have a very interesting language here on expressions. We are kind of have fun all the time with the words. I cannot say the word because it's a bad word per se, but I cannot say it, but it's one of my favorite words.
It's a bad word.
It's a bad word, but we use it in different connotations that are not bad. You can curse with it, but you can express yourself with it. So it's very, very in the way that you can use that word. But trigger words that I love to use on ASMR videos is a cachanilla. Cachanilla it's a plant that grows where I live, and that's how we are called. We're called cachanillas from people from Mexicali, and I love the sound of the sh. Cachanilla and chocolate. The words are really relaxing
Can you tell us more about what it's used for, as well as the piece of clothing that you're currently wearing?
Yeah, especially in the south of Mexico, there is a lot of rich culture with clothes. Where I live, no, because it's a fairly new area. We only have like 120 years old culture, so we have indigenous people, the Cucapas, but they used to wear clothes made from plants. Nothing really colorful or anything. So I cannot say nothing from there, but from the south, which is a piece that I'm wearing. This is from Oaxaca. It's embroidered. I'm gonna show you directly into the camera. Made by hand. Every stitch is very colorful and very, very beautiful. We don't have this here in the north because, as I was saying, is fairly new compared to the history of the south and central Mexico. But all this traditional clothing is made by hand still today and is quite beautiful, and it takes its time to be created. We have dresses, blouses, shirts, everything that you can think of, shoes, but this is mostly in the south that you can see beautiful, beautiful pieces. We have it here where I live too, when we have like festivals and stuff like that, where people from the south or indigenous people come here to sell their products.
That's so lovely. And speaking of festivals, what is a popular festival in Mexico?
Well, we have Dia de Muertos, which is when we celebrate our dead. Again, here in the border is not that big of a deal as it is in the south, but it's a big festival, well, not festival, tradition that we celebrate each year to remember our deceased families, friends. And we also have our local festivities. Here where I live, we have Fiestas del Sol, or Festival of the Sun, because we live in the desert. We celebrate every October. We have music, food, plays, a lot of stuff, but it varies depending the region, state, city. So it's all different around our country and states.
Oh, can you give an example of what one of those differences are?
Well, it varies on the food, what they serve, like typical dishes. Here where I live, we have a big Chinese colony, well, not colony, population of people that were like the people that built up this state, this city, in specific Chinese people. So we always say that Chinese food is our staple food here in my town, because we have so many Chinese places here, even more than tacos. Can you believe that? We have our Chinatown. A lot of Chinese people moved from the US, where they were working, to this place in a specific, what is called Mexicali. So they started creating their businesses here, restaurants and everything. So it's super popular. Chinese food where I live is like our staple food, and it's something that differentiates us from other states and cities from Mexico. We actually have our Chinese festival here too.
Oh, wow. So I bet, like, the Lunar New Year was pretty, like, widely celebrated there, too.
Yeah, in some parts. In the center, we're creating that, like, Chinatown here.
Yeah. Cool. Well, speaking of food, what are examples of snacks or candies from Mexico that, like, we should try?
Wow, there is so many. Again, mostly from the south, that I don't really know everything, but I have some here. This candy is made with nuts and piloncillo. It's called pipitoria. It has like hard candy on it, Glorias, which is candy with tamarindo. Tamarindo is big in Mexico. We use it a lot in our candy with chili. This is called Glorias. Actually has a nice ASMR sound, the crinkling sound. This one is made with dulce de leche, which could be like caramel for you, and nuts, and goat milk. And one of my favorites is chili mangoes, which is dry mangoes with chili on it. This is my absolute favorite.
It sounds so good too.
They're amazing. Yeah, a lot of candies have chili on it, or piloncillo, which is a type of like a sweet thing that revolves around our candies. Most of their typicals, again, from the south.
Now, what about for actual like meals? Is there a traditional meal that you would recommend to someone?
Well, traditional meals, wow, Mexico has so many, it's almost impossible to choose one. For me personally, I love enchiladas. Yeah. I know that in the US are popular too, but you do it a little bit differently than what it is here in Mexico. Yeah. And enchiladas is different on every state. They prepare in a different way. My mom is from Michoacan, so she makes enchiladas michoacanas, which is different from the enchiladas from Central Mexico or North Mexico. It varies depending on the state. Then we have mole. Mole is a very popular dish in Mexico. I don't like it in particular, but it's super, super popular. It's made with chocolate, some chili. It's not spicy at all. People say it's delicious, but I personally don't enjoy it. But enchiladas will be for me like, wow, you have to try it Mexican style, especially from Michoacan.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that there were different types of enchilada. Like the enchiladas are made differently in different parts of Mexico, so that's really interesting.
Yeah, we have enchiladas suizas that are made with cheese, white cheese on it, and it's put in the oven. We have enchiladas with chicken, enchiladas with potatoes. Oh, there's infinity type of enchiladas.
Yes, that sounds very delicious. I've had enchiladas, but I think I've only had like the cheese and like bean and cheese version.
You should try, if you ever want to try good enchiladas, go to a Mexican run place in the US, where that is run by mom and pop, but they are Mexican, true Mexicans, and you will taste what is good. Not like establishment like Taco Bell or stuff like that. No, those are not enchiladas.
I do not count Taco Bell as Mexican, don't worry.
They're still good. I like Taco Bell and Del Taco tacos, but they are not Mexican. They're American tacos, but it's still good in their own way.
Yeah, definitely. Just not authentic.
Exactly.
Now, here's a question that I tend to ask the different people I have on this series is about McDonald's, because McDonald's will have like special menu items in certain parts of the world that you can only try like in that country. Is there one like that for Mexico?
Yeah, there is a special menu here in Mexico, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really go to McDonald's here. I do prefer American McDonald's. I live in the border, so I tend to cross quite a lot, and I try both. The thing here in Mexico, we have different type of burgers. My brother eats quite a lot of there, and he says they're really, really good. I have never tasted it, but I have seen the menu. That do have a special menu for Mexico, and special sauces too, and things like that. But I'm not a big fan of burgers, so same from Mexico, but there is a different menu for each place. And even in some regions, I believe there are different burgers. Like in Central Mexico and North Mexico, it has like a variety of burgers and menu.
Oh wow. What is it? The sauce that would basically make it different? They like make it like a different
Jalapeno.
sauce.
Jalapeno sauce.
Jalapeno.
I have seen it in the US, but it's a jalapeno
Yeah.
sauce. It's really good. It comes in packet like a ketchup packet. I like it. I like it for with my fries.
Oh, that sounds really good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, switching on to more travel-related topics, what are some recommendations you have for travelers who visit Mexico?
Oh gosh. Stay away from all-inclusives. All-inclusives are great and you can save a lot of money, but you won't have the essence of Mexico if you're always in your hotel. Try to go out and try to explore the little villages, the little towns, and walk around their main street. You will find some great stuff and delicious food. Just try not to stay cooped up in an area like a hotel and spread your wings from all the parts that you're visiting in particular.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's great, the all-inclusives, but they tend to cook them up there and you want to experience Mexico there.
Right, yeah. That totally makes sense. What about for music and bands in Mexico? Are there any favorites you have?
I tend to listen to a lot of regional music from Mexico, like old musicians, Antonio Aguilar, Los Tigres del Norte, which is like, we call corridos here in Mexico. Kind of like country music in the US, I believe, but it's regional Mexican music. Cumbias too, and Los Angeles Azules. I love Los Angeles Azules. They are amazing band, and with a lot of history here in Mexico. For the new stuff, not really. Listen more to US stuff, bands. I'm a alternative rock kind of person, and pop, but artists from the US, from Mexico. The new music, not really. I don't really like the new wave of reggaeton and stuff like that. I stay with the older ones, Tigres del Norte, Ángeles Azules, and all the stuff that is really happy music and makes you dance and feel happy all the time.
I want to ask about TV shows because telenovelas are so popular, but why did they become popular? What are your thoughts on telenovelas?
Oh, I do have my thoughts on telenovelas. Oh my gosh. Well, telenovelas are really popular. Right now, I don't think they are as popular as they were before the internet. Right now it's about TV shows on Netflix and stuff, but telenovelas have a rich history, a lot of drama. You're invested in the chisme, gossip of the telenovela.
Chisme.
The golden era of the 90s, when I was growing up, I loved those novelas because of the drama, the romance, and stuff like this. The telenovelas from right now, I cannot really speak because I don't watch TV anymore, just like Hulu, Netflix, and stuff like that, and don't know what it is right now on Mexican telenovelas, but I speak from when I was watching growing up and my teen years. They were really fun with a lot of drama and Prince Charming and stuff like that.
Gossip. Chisme. Give me the chisme.
Yeah, that's been really big here in Mexico. We love gossip. We love it.
Then this makes
when I was growing up, there were a lot of handmade toys made out of wood. I was a kid in the 80s, and we had quite a lot of money, so my parents got me toys, handmade, like a little giraffe with whistles and little tinklies in it. And right now, well, we have all been globalized, so we have toys from all over. So the traditional toys are kind of dying out now.
Oh, that's cool. Now, staying on to the traditional stuff, is there a good, what's like an example of a cultural tradition that's unique in Mexico?
Traditions, I would say that it will be Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. It's something very, very deep, especially in the south, right here where I live. Not so much, because as I was saying, we're kind of Americanized. It's like a weird mixture here where I live, in the border towns along Mexico. But in the south, I know that they make parades with Catrina, which is a lady dressed like a skeleton with a big hat, very beautiful makeup. They stay in the cemetery all night, give food to their loved ones. Here, where I live, we were teaching when we were kids in school to make altars for our loved ones, put their favorite foods and a little like a hole with flowers so they know where the way it is. I don't know if you have ever seen Coco, the movie. It's exactly like
yes, I have seen Coco.
the altar. That is more traditional in the south parts of Mexico. Right here, not that much. Just like for commercial stuff and for the school and some people here and there in their houses, but it's not like widespread here where I live in specific. But in the south is quite big, this tradition.
Okay, good to know. And what about like work life in Mexico? Like, how is that with, vacation time or lifestyle and things like that?
It depends on where you work, what type of work you do, and what are your levels of school. So, for people that work in factories, it's very different for everyone. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to explain. I have worked from home all my working life, so for me it's a different experience from what it is for my husband that works in an office. My husband has in particular like 3 weeks vacation, 3 times per year, more or less. But it varies depending on the company. In other companies, you have more time or little time depending on how much time you have been working there. My husband has been working 15 years where he is, so he has more vacations day. The more you work, the more vacation you have. Talking about salaries, we're still a bit behind, as I believe in other places too, but we're working on it. And it's kind of different on the lifestyle and hustle that I know is in the US, that you guys work. Here we tend to take it easier. We value our time with our families. We value our time for ourselves. So it depends on the line of work that you have, but we do have something important, that not to be always hustling and working and not enjoy life. So we do have that. Our laws do protect us with that. That are not. We have 8 hours of work. 8 hours. So yeah.
I agree with that mentality about having life first and work second. But it's funny because I'm sure, as you know, doing YouTube, you end up putting in probably a lot more time than biodiverse countries on Earth with over 200,000 different species of fauna or flora. And so it just kind of made me want to ask you about animals and plants. Do you have like a favorite type of animal or favorite type of plant in Mexico?
For plants and animals, right? The biodiversity that we have in our country is amazing, especially I live in the desert area. So in the south you have the jungles. So you see a lot of different animals there that is different from here. They have jaguars, they have some kind of monkeys, and other cute little animals, critters. And here we have el borrego cimarrón, which is like a kind of deer with like big horns. It's our typical animal here where I live in the desert of Baja California. He lives right here in the mountains outside of my city. And it's this big animal with these horns that are curled up in the front. So beautiful. And we also have like coyotes, roadrunners, bunnies, liebres, we call them. And what else? And among plants where I live in the desert, we have cactus, nopales, all type of desertic flowers. They're very beautiful, and especially in the mountain area where I live, it's kind of dry. Not much growing here, but if you go deep into the desert, you start seeing the whole fauna and the beautiful animals and plants that are there, especially near the Maro Cortez or Golfo de California. It's a beautiful place to visit. And in central Mexico, you have other types of fauna like forests, very beautiful forests, and don't really remember what kind of animals they have there, but yeah, it's very rich and different type of ecosystems. We have deserts, we have jungles, and we have forests right in the middle. So if you want to visit Mexico and experience nature, you can try all these different places where you can get different experience on our nature.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love that. And I've actually been to Mexico myself. Now, I'd also like to know, where has been one of your favorite places to visit in Mexico?
I haven't visited a lot of Mexico, to be honest. I visit a lot of the US because it's closer than South Mexico for us. But from the places that I have visited, Guadalajara is such a beautiful place. El Lago de Chapala in Jalisco is one of my favorite places. It's this big lake, and it has a little island in the middle where there's a lot of spiders and alacranes, which are scorpions. It's called La Isla Alacrán, the Scorpio Island, which is a little bit underwhelming because there were more spiders than scorpions.
Oh my gosh.
Very beautiful place. So much green. Oh my gosh. We don't have green here. I live in the desert. And when we went there, we were taking pictures and selfies in the mountains that were so green. Because I don't see green here. All I see here is brown dirt and desert. But there it was so gorgeous. So much green in it. And it was one of my favorite places. Also Puebla. Puebla is a very rich culture and very, very old. It has a lot of history there from when the conquistadores from Spain came. Those were one of the first areas that they started colonizing. So it has a lot of history, very beautiful churches, buildings so old and full of culture and beautiful, beautiful places. And also Mexico City was very great, the big city here in our country. But my Jalisco, Lago de Chapala, one of the most beautiful places I've seen here. But again, I still haven't seen a lot of Mexico yet. That I kind of regret it, but hopefully one day we'll be able to visit more of our country here.
Oh, that's cool. And do you also have like a favorite place that you visited around the world? I know you mentioned you've been to the US a few spots.
From the places I have visited, San Diego, California is one of my favorite places to go. Also, Las Vegas, the lights and walking around the street. But San Diego, it has a really nice place in my heart because it's like our little escape from the desert hell that we live here in the summers. Whenever we go to San Diego, it's like a fresh air from the sea, so cool. And for them it's summer, but for us it's like, this is paradise, this is heaven for us, because we're coming from 50 degrees summer here, burning ourselves, and going to San Diego is like, oh, so beautiful, so fresh. I love it there.
Is there a place that you haven't been around the world that you like would love to visit one day?
Oh, Japan. Japan is my dream place. We were actually gonna go on March 2020. But
oh no.
We know what happened. We already had our ticket. We had everything ready. Everything. We just were waiting for the date. And well, we know what happened. We had to cancel all, and that was pretty sad. So now we have to save up again and try to build up the trip and all the things that we were reserving. So I don't know when we are gonna be able to do that again, but hopefully it's gonna be soon.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys get to visit there soon. And it's funny because, like, literally, I think most of the people I've had on this series have said Japan is the place they want to go to.
I'm an anime fan, and I love Japanese culture, so it was like a place to go.
As we start to wrap up, what is one final thing you think people should know about Mexico?
Don't believe everything the media says about Mexico. No. I know there's these travel warnings about Mexico and blah blah blah. No. There is dangerous places all around the world. There are dangerous places where you live. It happens here too. But I love Mexico. Mexico is safe, especially for travelers. We take care of them. They are some of our main source of income, so we take care of them. You will ever be safe here. Don't be afraid to visit Mexico if you live in the border and you have never crossed to Mexico. Do it. You will find very beautiful places, very different types of food. Enjoy. Don't believe everything the media says. They just want to create this, I don't know, bubble, the insecurity of Mexico. No, there is some problems that we have, yes, but for the average person, it's completely safe. But of course, as in any big city, there could be problems, so just follow your instinct and go ahead, just mind your own business and everything should be okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Oh, well, thank you so much. Okay, now we're going to cap off the episode with one of your favorite ASMR triggers. So go ahead and show us what one of your favorite ASMR triggers are.
My favorite one is camera touching or face touching. I specialize on role plays, so I'm always touching the camera in a way to create an experience that you are the person that I'm touching, especially on dermatologist videos where I'm like taking a peek into your skin, like here, and your eyebrows, for myself and to create. Like this. Some makeup will be nice too. With little brushes. Like so. So yeah, that is my favorite on top of the hill trigger of all time. Face touching, camera touching.
Well, I want to thank you once again for coming on to this series and sharing a little bit about Mexico with us. Really, really appreciate it. And for those of you who have not yet followed ASMR Jonie, you have to check out her channel. She has awesome stuff, and one of her specialties is roleplay videos, which are super, super fun.
Thank you so much for having me. It was quite fun, and I'm kind of sorry too that I don't have the full Mexican experience since I live right here in the north, and I'm kind of Americanized, but still I hope that I could illustrate you a little bit of my culture and my background.
I think that even though you may have grew up in a different part of Mexico, I think each of those experiences and perspectives are still interesting and valid. So, I really appreciate it, and who knows, maybe I'll have a guest on from a different part of Mexico to share that other side as well. So, it's totally, totally great to hear, everything from your perspective, too.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me, Sharon. It was great and fun.
Thank you. And for everyone watching, ciao for now, and I hope you have a relaxing rest of your day and flutters away.